Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic Saga video. Today, we're focusing on a non-dinosaur creature that almost made its way into the Jurassic franchise very recently. So if you're excited, be sure to press that like button as today's target is over 1,500 likes. Be sure to press that subscribe button to the channel as this is the best place to be on YouTube for Jurassic content, including news, games, and information from this franchise. We're aiming for 200,000 subscribers by the end of the year as well, so do subscribe if you fancy helping out the channel. Today's video, we'll be touching on some new information that we can speculate about regarding the Woolly Mammoth, and how it almost appeared in a recent Jurassic World canonical installment. So sit back, relax, get some snacks, and enjoy the video. The Woolly Mammoth. A creature in which I am sure the majority of the population of this world is very much aware of. Given the age of the Earth, the mammoth went extinct quite recently on this planet, and were even alive during the construction of the pyramids. There's a weird time fact for you all. But the woolly mammoth never actually appeared in the Jurassic franchise. A creature that many thought they'd eventually see and always wanted in this franchise. Personally, I understand why we didn't get to see the woolly mammoth in the Jurassic Saga. It doesn't mean we won't see it appear in the next saga, however. But it's not really a creature that you think of when you put the Mesozoic era together. For obvious reasons, that is. However, that was my thought process behind the reason why we didn't get to see the woolly mammoth in a Jurassic Saga project. But then I was thinking to myself, something happened in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 4 that completely changed that ideology. We got to see the frickin' Smilodon, a saber-toothed tiger in the Jurassic franchise. Alive, breathing, and well. So, if we get to see the Smilodon in the Jurassic era, in 2016 nonetheless, why did we not get to see the woolly mammoth? Well, I'll explain why. Because technically, we did kinda get to see it. However, it has a very short time appearing in the timeline. Not only that, but we also found out relatively recently that the mammoth could have made his way into the Jurassic Saga sooner than you think. So we knew that ever since Jurassic Park in 1993, they were promoting creatures as plush toys back in the Jurassic Park gift shop that weren't necessarily dinosaurs. It wasn't until Camp Cretaceous Season 4, which released in December of 2021 and takes place in June of 2016, that we got our first on-screen appearance of a Cenozoic creature in the Smilodon. However, the woolly mammoth technically appeared earlier on in the series, during the events of Camp Cretaceous Season 1. Released in September of 2020 and taking place in December of 2015, we see the crew and the campmates of Camp Cretaceous arrive in the labs of Jurassic World. Within these labs, we meet our Ankylosaurus friend Bumpy for the first ever time, and also get to see Dr. Henry Wu in animated form for the first ever time as well. Dr. Wu was tempted into doing a vlog diary for Brooklyn's online social media channel. And in doing so, we see the crazy camper, spy at the time, Sammy Gutierrez run around asking plenty of questions. Whilst doing so, a collection of bones on a trolley passes her by while she asks what they are. Dr. Wu begins to answer her before he was abruptly cut off by Sammy asking another question about something else. However, what Dr. Wu was able to say in this short stint was that the fossils were, and I quote, Siberian mammoth remains extracted for, and then he was cut off.
Dr. Wu, what's that?
Tree frog DNA. Unfortunately, I...
What's that?
Siberian mammoth remains extracted for...
Ooh, what's down that hall?
my private office. It's restricted.
So, Siberian mammoth remains extracted for what exactly? Well, it's evident that they were experimenting with bringing the mammoth back to life. Something that our scientists in our everyday world are currently trying to do. So, the mammoth was at least in planned development, and that InGen or Masrani scientists wanted to see whether or not they could bring back this woolly mammoth. Now, some people must be saying, oh, but Swerve, there's no amber, how could they possibly bring back the mammoth with no amber? Well, the same way they brought back the Mosasaurus and other aquatic reptiles. There's no way they could have used amber, as obviously mosquitoes can't exactly go into water and live. So this process is done by generating the leftover protein from the bones that have been discovered, and then filling even more gaps in the DNA. That's why the Jurassic World Mosasaurus is so different and incredibly larger compared to its ancient brothers and sisters. The same process was used to sample the Indominus Rex fossil for DNA to be used within the creation of the Indoraptor. So what's happening here is that the Jurassic World scientists are sampling DNA half-life from the protein in which is found inside the fossils of the creature, and then they would later try to fix the DNA to how they can, need and want to, thus allowing the mammoth to be born. But what makes a mammoth is the size and the obvious fur going across its body, otherwise it's just a big elephant. Undoubtedly there are going to be some people that are annoyed by what I just said, so here's your warning, don't take it seriously. So the scientists must obviously be thinking to themselves that the key aspect of the mammoth is to retain its fur, so they can't mess around with that type of DNA. If they manage that successfully, why would they put this creature on Isla Nublar, or any of the remaining 5 deaths? It would die from heat exhaustion. It would not suit a jungle and a humid climate where the temperature probably averages around the high 30s to the low 40s per day. So it just doesn't make sense to have the mammoth living at Jurassic World. So what this could be is an alternative project that Wu and his scientists are doing, which is to repopulate the species of mammoths across the globe. But I feel as if that would be something that they would like to keep more secretive, rather than something he's open to discussing on a public social media account. So where else could the mammoth go? Well, recently we learned that not too far away in the northwest of Isla Nublar, there lies a small island that we currently know it to be called as Manta Island. On Manta Island resides the company of Manticorp. The CEO of Manticorp, Daniel Kahn, has kept this island incredibly secret and thus didn't allow people to know where this island was in the world. Wait until he learns about satellites. Anyways, within this island, a massive biosphere dome was placed across it, providing multiple biomes across this land. Some of which contain a tropical desert, jungle and swamp biome to just name a few, but one very important one was the Arctic biome. When we take a look at what creatures lived within each biome, it all becomes very understandable. The Spinosaurus in the desert, Dilophosaurus in the swamp, Pteranodons in the tropical, and many more. But besides the Kentrosaurus that appeared, there was no known species that housed the Arctic biome. Something that's very weird if you were to ask me. What on earth could have been housed there? Because it's clear that the Kentrosaurus should not have been there as he was caught with hypothermia. Now, some may argue that the hybrid dinosaurs of the Spinoceratops were supposed to grow up and live within that habitat. And yes, you'd be correct. But do you really think that they'd build such a large habitat for just 2 creatures that they aren't even sure would have made it past infancy to live in? I don't think so. So clearly this biome was built for something else. Now, recently I had a great privilege to be able to discuss the entirety of Camp Cretaceous and a little bit about Jurassic World Dominion with the Camp Cretaceous showrunner and executive producer Scott Creamer. We had loads of fun discussing this franchise and he made a rather interesting comment regarding the Woolly Mammoth. Check it out.
Being blatant about it. So, that was always the idea. I always, we didn't end up going like I really wanted a mammoth for the Arctic biome.
Scott Creamer mentioned how he really wanted a mammoth for the Arctic biome, which would actually explain why the mammoth remains were teased in Camp Cretaceous Season 1, and also as to why we didn't see any native species living in that large biome. So what I assume this means is that the original plan was to go ahead and bring the Woolly Mammoth into canon, until some decisions behind the scenes changed that. Now, I further went on and discussed what he mentioned regarding the mammoth, as I was well aware that it was teased back in Season 1. I discussed this with him and how it remains as an unanswered question we still have to this day, now that the series is over. Scott's reply was actually rather interesting. Take a look.
Interesting, good. Because you mentioned the mammoth for the Arctic biome, because I think in Season 1 there was a little tease to Siberian mammoths. I think Dr. Wu mentioned the remains of it, so that's a little question that we've still got unanswered. what was he doing with them?
Yeah, and exactly, if Dr. Wu had been approached by Daniel Kahn, I mean, there is a lot of unanswered questions regarding that, and maybe we'll get to answer them one day.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
It would be really nice.
Now, I may be looking too deep into this, but he seems very happy and excited by the future of potentially answering some of these unanswered questions, including the Siberia mammoth remains. Something I am really hoping to see and learn more about in future Jurassic shows. Now, as we know, a new animated show is on the way for Jurassic, as casting calls were made public by 6 or 7 different sources by the time of writing the script, which all but officially confirms that the new show is in planned development and currently in the casting stage. I do really hope that Scott Creamer will be one of the ones that will be steering the wheel for this show, as he did a fantastic job with Camp Cretaceous. But again, since we know more is coming, I can only assume we'll get more answers to these questions shortly. To round everything out, the woolly mammoth seemed to have been originally planned to have appeared in Camp Cretaceous seasons 4 or 5, where it would have resided within the Arctic biome of Manticore Island in 2016. I assume they opted out of this in favour of showcasing the Smilodon instead. But either way, I am really hoping to get some answers regarding the woolly mammoth, and hopefully see it in the Jurassic timeline for the first ever time, living and breathing. Anyways guys, that's all we've got time for in today's video. If you wish to watch the full 20-minute interview with executive producer Scott Creamer, you can find the rest of it on my channel. We discussed some very interesting things in that video regarding the Jurassic franchise that I am sure plenty of you out there would be very eager to know about. As for this video, however, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to press that like button and subscribe if you are new, but most importantly, all I ask for from you guys today is to make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.